Another day, another great parking spot. Packed my yarn today because I'm off at 4:30, which sometimes mean bad traffic, but not always. So just in case, I've packed the commission piece with me. I didn't bring extra clothes, and if that's the case, I'll find somewhere like in the area to go park. I parked under a tree, but I don't think the tree is going to provide enough shade for me to sit out here once I'm off of work. So I'll find like, I don't know, a parking lot for a store or something and do that. Outside of that, I'm about to start doing like a kind of pattern, because last week I made the bows with the bat wings on them, and I'm going to just like do a free pattern kind of on my business account for TikTok and on Instagram. Basically, it's 50 foundation single crochet, and then it's the batwing pattern from Golden Lucy Crafts, and then it's an eyeball. Yeah, well, I'm not really explaining it very well. I was too busy looking out the window to see if I knew that person that was walking into work. But I'm going to do a simplified pattern of that, and then later I might write a full pattern, but I don't think I want to charge for it. I don't know. If anybody asks for like a full written pattern, I will, but I don't think that will happen. So yeah, I'm excited. What a great day. What a great start to the week. So here's the plan. We're going to go to H-Mart because it's only 39 minutes to get there as opposed to an hour and 9 minutes to get home. All totaled up, it'd take about an hour and 59 minutes. I needed to get some groceries anyways. I'm out of mackerel. I'm out of corn for corn tea. We're out of pickled mustards roots for my husband, and I'm kind of hungry, so we're gonna go out there and just chill until traffic dies down. I can sit in 2-hour traffic if I'm driving from H-Mart. It's not gonna be 2 hours because I'm gonna do some shopping. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about inside, but it was really busy in there and it was very overwhelming. There were a lot of people just stopping in the middle of the aisle. I forget that it's Friday, and then on top of that, it's not just a grocery store for a lot of people in the Orlando area. It is the biggest H-Mart in the whole entire country, so it's like a destination, which is kind of frustrating as somebody who just needed to get groceries. I spent maybe an hour looking for a certain grocery item, and I couldn't find it because every lane was blocked by tons of people. But we got some jjormyeon, which is like this chewy, cold noodle, spicy food. I really love jjormyeon. It was perfect for today. I got some boba, taro boba. I'm not picking it up right now because I don't feel like it. And then we got some groceries. There's people walking. I'm gonna go home real quick before we start driving. It's an hour and 6 minutes to get here to home right now, as opposed to an hour and 9 minutes when I live closer to work. I looked at the time that it would take if there were no traffic, if there's nothing going on. 35 minutes. This is why living in Orlando area sucks. Okay, going home for realsies.
Not sure if Grasshopper or Katie did, but it's hanging out here and that's kind of cute. I'm not the best with knowing bugs, but I'm getting better about liking bugs. Am I disturbing you, little guy? Sorry. Go back to bed. I know that this is just groceries, and I talk about H-Mart, how it's just a grocery store, but one of my love languages is sharing food and all that. I gotta get you guys in a better spot. Hold up. One of my love languages is sharing food, and especially because I do know a little bit of Korean food and not just like the snack stuff. I just want to share it. So in this bag, we got piping jjormyeon. So piping is like mixed, usually spicy. Jjormyeon is what I ate today at H-Mart while waiting it out. I was going to bring my crochet in, but then I was like, I don't want to bring a big bag with yarn in it because I don't want the employees to think I'm stealing anything. But I should have brought it in because there's no cell service in there and I got really bored. Whatever, it's fine, right? Oh, also, they had plants out in the front and I really, really wanted to grab some. They had gardenias, they had peppers, like they had a 6x6 flat of pepper, like sproutlings. And I really thought about it. And I also thought about buying spinach seeds, but I'm like, I can't keep on buying plant stuff. I gotta chill out because I've got a lot of new plants this year, and I know me. I've already killed some of my sproutlings, so I need to be better about it. But anyways, We got jjajangmyeon. This is going to be great for colder days. I'm going to stick in warmer days. I think I'm going to stick this one in the fridge because I might eat this tomorrow. Oh my gosh, we have strawberry cake in here still. I got to eat the rest of that. Then over here, we got oksucha, which is corn tea. I've been drinking a lot of corn tea. I don't know. It's something about my childhood. I grew up drinking a lot of like barley tea and corn tea. Barley tea and corn tea taste very similar. And it's like one of those things that my husband says it makes him hungry. Like it whets his appetite because the only time he's ever had it was right before like a good Korean meal. For me, it was just like a cold summer drink, much like lemonade. We drank barley tea growing up, not lemonade because lemonade had too much sugar in it. So this is our summer beverage of choice. I also picked up some honeydew tea, whatever this is, aloe. I don't know if this one has aloe in it. No, it doesn't. Well, that's fine. It's a melon honeydew. I don't know. I really, really love the flavor of honeydew, artificial honeydew. I think I talked about it during the Epic Universe day, but the Yoshi drink that I had, same thing. Reminds me of my childhood. It was like one of the one sweet things we were allowed to have. I'm putting it straight in the fridge. Then we also got naengmyeon. I think I talked a little bit about naengmyeon, but I got this one. There was this one, and then there was a Pyongyang naengmyeon. Pyongyang naengmyeon to me doesn't have that much flavor. Pyongyang is the capital of North Korea, and to be completely honest with you, their flavor profiles are not as wide as South Korean flavors. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased. I know I'm biased, but this is like what's this say? It's a radish kimchi broth. You stick the little soup packets in the freezer, and then whenever you're ready, you just bring it out of the freezer. You let it like thaw out a little bit. You boil the noodles. You have to use scissors because this is chewy noodles as well. You can choke on this. So a lot of times when you order it in a restaurant, they'll give scissors to you as well. I don't think I have Korean scissors on me, but like they'll give you heavy duty scissors. So we got this. This one comes with noodles, and then we got some broth by itself because I'm going to end up eating a lot. I think we still have noodles. And if anything, like we'll have other kinds of noodles. It's not as good with other noodles, but these are pretty good. Noodles are super cheap to get. So, and then last but not least, we got some koguma. Oh gosh, this is sweet potato. It's very not, oh my gosh, everything's falling right now. It's very moist right now. And we should, like, it's one of those, like, I grew up eating it. I didn't like it as much when I was a kid. It's still warm, which is really nice. But I did not like it at all as a kid because it was a sweet treat, but it wasn't sweet enough for me because I grew up in the States. So I wanted ice cream or cake. But my mom insisted we had sweet potatoes and how much better it is for us. And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, yeah, koguma is so much better. Did I say it's sweet potato? And it's like, if you've ever had ube, it's similar flavor profile. It's just not purple. Actually, I could just bring one out because I might eat one now. But it's roasted and it smells delicious. And it's like honey on the inside. I don't know. This one's a little bit dry because it's been sitting for a while. You can eat the skin. You can eat obviously the inside. It's so good. It's so sweet. So that's my H-Mart haul. I'm going to maybe crochet a little bit. I don't know. If I do, I'll let you guys know what I'm doing. Oh my god, I can't hold you guys here for very long. So going back to like the jjajangmyeon talk. Hold on, let me find a better position. Okay, hopefully this works. But going back to jjajangmyeon, anytime I ordered jjajangmyeon with like a Korean person in general, it always shocks them because I don't look Korean to a Korean person. I don't think I look Korean to non-Koreans either. Most people are just like this ambiguous person looking, I don't know. But it always throw them off. Like the guy that was at the kiosk today, I said, "One jjajangmyeon piece." And he's like, huh? Anyways, going to the crochet. Oh, we finished one sleeve. This was actually yesterday I finished this. And right now I'm working on another sleeve.
and I have this much left. I don't think I'll be able to finish the sleeve tonight. I've been working hard on it, but I may also be part of a pattern test soon. I don't know. I feel like I'm not the best to be pattern testing because I don't know. I just don't think I'm the best at pattern testing in general because I'm really bad at following directions. So if I'm part of that, I'll let you guys know, and I'll let you know who I'm pattern testing for. But I'm like kind of a last minute stand-in if they can't find anybody else, and I'll have to get it done by the 30th. So there's things that will have to happen. Yeah. Almost done, and then I can almost move on to another project. No offense to Frosting Skelly, but I'm kind of tired of you. Surprise! I was able to finish the other sleeve. So now I can take a break from the Defrosting Skelly shrug. And did I say that right? Yeah, Defrosting Skelly shrug. And I do have this much yarn left in the black skein. So I have definitely enough to sew everything up. This is a full pound. I almost went through the whole entire thing. Super awesome. And then I went through 2 and maybe 0.12 pounds of this. This wasn't a pound, but I went through quite a bit of this. I have 3 balls wound up over here from yarn that I had to like cut off because there was a break in the yarn, as in like they factory tied it. And then on top of that, like one of them was like the end of the skein, and I wasn't confident that I was going to make it. You definitely need 3 if you're going to do 3 different size ways. I don't know what to do with all this yarn. This yarn, I know what I'm going to do with the majority of it. This one, maybe I'll do like the drippy yarn. What is it? My Melty Love bow hair beret thing. Maybe I might think about it because it would kind of match this. I could also do this with and I have another Hirschner's yarn. I don't want to break into the next big twist yarn because I don't think that would benefit me because I'm going to start on a hot pink one soon after this. But I think this should be worked up into like berets or something. I have so much of this yarn left, and I don't think I have any other plans for it. Maybe I can make a skirt, but that's a hard maybe. Very hard maybe. Anyways, I want to make something wearable for me. No, I do have one in this colorway. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'm going to go lay down. My phone's like at 30% battery, and I'm going to nap up for tomorrow. I don't work till 1 p.m., but still, I should probably go to bed. Uh-oh, you guys. I spent too long on social media, and now I'm sad that I'm not where I want to be. I want to call out so bad, but I can't. I need money. I need to stop calling out. Like this, it's so rough, like when you start having mental health issues and like feeling the need to call out. Here's the thing. I can't niche down. I cannot stick to one thing, and it's really frustrating. I've tried so hard. I have severe ADHD. It does affect my life in so many ways. I lose things all the time. My husband is basically my caretaker, and I feel really bad for him because it's not fair to him. But like, I can't do things that I want to do. I can't do things that I know will help me become successful. I can't do a lot of things too because like I can't keep a stable job. I'm fighting so hard not to get fired or quit. Like my managers do like me, which I am so grateful for because I used to not have that backup. My attitude was so different when I was younger. I just didn't respect people at all. And now that I know who I am, I understand why. But like, it's just so hard trying to get anywhere in life. I used to work so hard to become a manager and like try to work up corporate. And I think I've talked a little bit about that here. And like COVID hit, and boy, oh boy, that was so tough when COVID hit. Like it really opened my eyes and made me realize that that's not what I wanted to do. Anyways, I just got sad because social media is always people posting positive stuff. And a lot of times I don't post positive stuff. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times I talk about my mental health because I think it's really important to talk about it, especially when you kind of have the guise of being a positive person. I don't know. I smile a lot, so people probably think I have a pretty good life. it was a trauma defense. I don't think I'm getting anywhere. Like, I have so many ideas in my brain. I would love to become a fashion designer. I tout myself as a fashion designer, yet here I am, unable to create a pattern, just make, like, you know, and unable to finish projects, just, like, there's so many ideas running in my head, and I can't do it because my brain just won't let me do it. Oh, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I'm upset, but I gotta go to work, I gotta pay these bills. Update on the eyes, by the way. So, I was able to wear a contact in this eye yesterday. Today, not as much. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's really itchy right now. I could call out. No, I'm not gonna do that. So, now that I have like 38 minutes left to get ready for work, I'm going to continue working on this mess back here, where I can just cut out my fabric, or maybe I'll cut out fabric, who knows. But I gotta start tracing first, and then I can cut out fabric. Maybe I'll have something made for the market. I don't know. Knowing me. I gotta stop being so negative. I gotta stop being negative. I know I'm not everybody else, but boy, does it hurt feeling like you're not ever gonna be good enough. Oh, God, I need to go to work. That's first and foremost. It needs to happen because I'm not feeling good about myself right now. I was talking to my sewing coworker about this the other day, but I've been struggling. Oh, yesterday. I've been struggling with getting back into the sewing room, mostly because there's no space in this room. My wrist hurts really, really bad right now. There's no space. The tools I have aren't made for somebody who's serious about sewing. I've been leaning over to trace this out. Like, I have a table, but it's so messy and it doesn't fit what I need. But anyways, off of that topic, I've finished the front band portion, tracing and cutting and labeling. And then I started working on, what is this? The front flap portion. I labeled at least the sizes on here. My wrist is killing me. It hurts so bad. Maybe this is carpal tunnel. I don't know. I don't use this wrist. Well, actually, yeah, I do. I do twist my wrist when I'm crocheting. So maybe knitting isn't in the works for me. But yeah, I still want to stay home so badly because now I'm in a groove. But I have to get ready for work. I need to go to work, make some real life money. I talked to my husband for when we move. We are kind of planning. So here's the thing. Cost of living in like the Pacific Northwest may seem unattainable because that was a thought process for so long. There's a lot of tech bros out there. There's a lot of like just big boy jobs out there. However, minimum wage out there is higher. Minimum wage down here just hit $15 an hour. I make higher than minimum wage, but it's not livable. There was an article that came out recently saying that Orlando, which is not where I actually live. I live outside of the city of Orlando, a different county than Orlando, but I have to drive into the Orlando County area, Orange County. It is the most unlivable place according to wages, cost of living. It is the highest cost of living. Not only is gas really expensive down here, like, it's not as expensive as, like, the West Coast is, but is definitely in leagues with the New England area, and New England area does get paid much better than we do. We are not the same gas rates as, like, Texas or Alabama. Those places have very cheap gas compared to us. Not only that, our traffic is really bad, not like Atlanta bad, but it's getting there. It's getting really, really bad where you're sitting in traffic for hours on end. Like yesterday, the example was I went all the way to H-Mart, which was 39 minutes out of my way from work, but ended up being an hour and 6-minute drive to go home from there, as opposed to an hour and 9 minutes if I had gone straight home from my job. And not only that, like, it's normally, if there was no traffic, 35 minutes. I am willing to take a 48-minute drive. It's still bad traffic, but it's not an hour and 9 minutes. So that's another thing. Housing out here is really expensive because a lot of people moved down here during COVID, not only because of our government, because of our governor, but also because the dream is to vacation in your backyard. And that's not the dream anymore. Like, that's not what's going on down here. It's overdeveloping. And my husband put it really well yesterday. He's like, this whole city, like the area, nobody has a dream anymore. Like, it's not like people who are passionate about what they're doing. We had recently a sloth place. They were starting construction back in like 2023, 2024. Recently, a news article came out about how 31 sloths perished in this warehouse. Illegally sanctioned warehouse, by the way, because they didn't have running AC. They didn't have like anything for these sloths because people saw a venture and wanted to capitalize on it. People love sloths. They want to have sloths to like pet and hold and all that. That's literally a thing that you can pay for on tourist trips. Like, that's something that people wanted to do. And the thing is, like, right now, whoever the owner is, whoever like mismanaged this, was like, oh, there's a lot of fake allegations going around. We cared about our sloths. But how did you let 31 die? And not only that, you let them live in a warehouse. And like, maybe the allegations about not having air conditioning is false, but their excuse is saying, yeah, well, it wasn't because there was no air conditioning. It was because of a virus that we couldn't detect and nobody else could detect. But it was illegally sanctioned. You were holding sloths in a warehouse that it was illegal in. So how are we supposed to trust that? Anyway, that's a whole tangent. Sorry, but like, this whole entire area, this whole entire state just feels like people coming down with a business plan, not passionate at all, just trying to make money. And we're so tired of it. We want to get out of here so badly. And like, it's probably the same elsewhere. Like, when COVID hit, you really saw those people who took the opportunity to buy up all the sanitizer, to buy up all the toilet paper and sell it because it was a business venture at that point. It's just, the cost of living here is awful, and I'm so tired of it. Anyways, the whole entire point of me going on this tangent, whatever, was to say that once we move up into the Pacific Northwest, maybe we'll have to stay in like an apartment for a little bit, but we want to find a house that's a little bit bigger than here, maybe a 4-bedroom house. That way I can spread out my stuff a little bit more, get more like tables or something, so I can like properly do my crafts and my art. Cause like, I know, like, I was talking about how I don't have a niche earlier, but my niche is fashion. Like, I like making fashion. I like making garments. I like making clothes. I like making accessories, specifically hair accessories. So that's going to be something that we'll look into when we get up there. But for now, everything hurts. All right, I gotta go to work. Finally raining down here in Florida. Oh, I hope my plants are getting rained on. The thing with Florida rain is that, like, sometimes it'll rain in one side of the road and not the other side. So hopefully at home we got some rain as well. Good morning. I just finished cutting out the pieces for number 9. I still have to write the instructions on them, but now we have 3 of the 5 pieces all cut out. We have 10 and 11 done right here. 10, and then 11 is underneath it. Sorry, I don't feel like grabbing my mic. 11. 9 in the works. Like I said, still have to do the instructions. And then we have over here, we have number 12. So I have to cut 5 pieces of this. I think 13. I'm just going to leave it because it's just one strip and I can just fold over the flap according to size. And then these are all done being cut out. Then I'm going to switch over to the smaller range. I don't think I'll have enough time to make anything for the market. I would love to. Because, like, okay, what I really want to do is do like a vintage lace thing, grab some gold lace from Michael's, because what other choice do I have? Gold crochet lace. Ooh, maybe Hirschner's will have a deal. If they have a deal, then I'll buy it. But also, depending on how much time I have. But I kind of want to do like, I'm using these 2 colors. In the future, I want to buy like solids, Kona solids, which I will have to purchase through Michael's because I don't think anywhere else sells them. Kona cotton solids, do like blue bandeau or bralette size, and then the little flap, I'm gonna do that one in dark gray because it kind of like replicates a sky, and then like get some stars hanging, like the gold stars. I really want to do that. It's been in my head. And then I will repurchase another one of these patterns so I can grab the shorts off of them. I have one fully intact, not this one. This one's still fully intact. So I will be able to just start with this one first. Honestly, I might just do a bigger size range first because I, as a semi-bigger person, feel more connected to that size range. If I have time, then I'll start doing a little bit of it. I'll have to test one out for myself first to make sure this is really what I want to do. That way I can still continue crocheting, but like not big pieces, because I know I'm starting to get tired of working on bigger pieces. The one big piece I want to work on is my commissioner's piece, which I will be bringing with me to my sister-in-law's appointment tomorrow. She has an appointment. I had to drive her. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm working on that. Did I do anything last night? No, I came home and I almost immediately went back to bed. So 9:45 a.m., 5:30 p.m. I will not be going home early today, hopefully. I don't know. This eye is still kind of bothering me, but not as much as it has been. Also, I'm wearing my little bow. Oh, also, okay, so I've been thinking about this. I have a 10 by 10 space at the market. I feel bad if I only bring one table, and I think I can manage more than one. So if that's going to be the case, we'll see when all the stuff that I ordered for my table comes in, how much of that I really fills up a table. I may bring a second table, and I'll be able to bring a mirror with me, the wooden mirror. I guess I can show you guys once I get back over to that table, but I'll bring that mirror with me. I'll bring probably my collars. Still need to work on it. I have this right here. Hold on. This. All I have to do is add like a couple inches of seam allowance, and then maybe I can do it fine. I don't know. I need to really look into it because it's just a U shape. I don't really have a good spot to put you all. Okay, stay there. This is just a U shape. So if I just made the U shape a little bit longer, I think that would help out, because the wideness, well, I'd have to like cut in a little bit to help with width or girth, I guess. And then maybe length to help with width. Does that make sense? I'm really thinking about redoing this pattern and then working it through. I have all of them sitting right here and I feel so bad. They're all the same size and nobody's purchasing them because they think they're for dogs. But if I bring them, then at least I can like kind of showcase that I have them and then let people know that I'm working on different sizes. I just haven't gotten enough attention on them. I've had 2 people give me attention. One person thinking it was a dog collar, which fine. But I have that new bust thing, like a jewelry holder thing. And maybe since it's a bigger size, people will be like, oh, this is for actual like humans. Let me try it on kind of deal. So I'm thinking about bringing another table. It's Sunday, so I don't really have to leave right now, but I should probably still get going just in case.
Good morning. I am dressed to take my sister-in-law to her appointment. But before that, I did some stuff for work. I am about to change my schedule. I know I've said this many, many times, but my schedule is actually officially changing to Friday, Sunday, Tuesdays, which sounds really kind of awful, but it is what it is. I gotta do what I can to get my Saturdays off. So just in case I want to take classes on Saturdays, because I want to get more serious about fashion design. And if I want to get into more markets, I don't have to keep on calling out and risk losing my job. I have so much faith in the fact that I can make this into something. I don't ever think that this is going to replace a part-time job at all. I believe that I'm going to have to continue having a part-time job for the rest of my life. But I think that this is just the right direction for me as somebody who wants to get really serious about fashion design, you know? Anyways, speaking of fashion design, I'm thinking about making this again and then just selling. Because, like, they're just, how many? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I can't count. 3, 6, 9, 12. There's 12 squares. And I took this pattern from an Erie Knots pattern. She made a pattern and it was like the duster or something. If you look it up on her Etsy, she'll have it. So that duster pattern, I took that and I was like, oh, there's too many, too many squares. I'm tired of doing this. And I just made this. And I wouldn't say it's my own pattern. It's definitely not my own pattern because I don't granny square very often. I just wanted to support her. And I just did this. This is my own thing. I don't remember what I did with this. And then I attached it using like a single crochet over it, which gives it such a big pop of color. And I think it'd be fun to do it in different colorways. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I'm getting my schedule shifted or I'm giving away my shift on the 9th so I can go and not get in trouble for going to this market down in Fort Myers. I don't know what's going to happen on the 10th because that schedule hasn't come out yet, but hopefully I'll have that day off too. If anything, it is what it is, you know? Oh, I was going to get on here to tell you I am about to go to Lowe's before I pick up my sister-in-law because it's only 10:58 a.m. I think it takes about 20-30 minutes to get to my sister-in-law's house, and Lowe's is on the way. So I'm going to pick up E6000 because one of my hair clips keeps on falling apart and I feel really bad because I paid money for it and I love the artist who made it, but it just keeps on falling apart and I'm kind of tired of it. And I know it's heavy duty, much more heavy duty than hot glue and Gorilla Glue. So I'm going to get some of that. And plus, I can use it in my fashion in the future. I'm packing my bag. I'm going to bring my commissioned work with me. I think I can get at least the top portion, the bodice portion done, and then I can get the rest of it done some other time. I still haven't gotten measurements from my commissioner. I told her I would get her some information about like my, what's it called? You can mobile send whatever, electronically send money over to somebody. It's not working for some reason. So if that's the case, then I'm just going to ask her for cash. And I honestly would much rather cash in general because it doesn't feel like real money to me. Speaking of receiving money, thanks to everybody who purchased my pattern. There were 2 people that purchased my pattern very recently. Thank you. I know who one of you are, and thank you so much. If you have any questions about it and you're watching this video, please let me know. I am all up for questions. I tried to make my resources super available. I am really bad at communicating, but when it comes to like a serious question like that, as somebody who does crochet as well, I will immediately answer that to the best of my ability as soon as I can, because if I get stuck on a problem, I'm not coming back to it if it takes more than an hour. Whereas everything else is just like cordial things, you know what I mean? That sounds really rude, but I understand the urgency in that. Okay? Thank you to you all for purchasing those patterns from me. I really appreciate it. And yeah. Oh, if we get to stop by like any craft stores today, and I know it's supposed to be no spend, but my sister-in-law and we both happen to be crafters. She is extremely crafty as well. She's into painting, she's into crochet as well, and I've talked about her a lot. I may pick up some plastic hooks because I want to get into like bringing it to Rockville. That's why I need the 10th off, is because I'm going to Rockville. And fun fact, one of my husband's coworkers, he got invited by Bloodywood to do photos for them. Phenomenal stuff. So I guess we might meet up with him on Sunday because that's when Bloodywood is performing, who I'm also excited to see. But I want to start using this yarn. Erie Knots and I have both said that we need to hold each other accountable to get into knitting. I need to learn what needles this needs. So it's 100% bamboo, 3 sport weight. I think I have another weight 3 yarn right here. I think this is weight 3. Yep, weight 3. And it says I need a 4mm needle. 4 needle, and I don't have that. I have 11. Wow, that sucks. I am going to, well, okay, so if we stop by a craft store, which there's a high possibility that we will, I will be purchasing knitting needles because I really want to get into knitting, although I don't think I'm going to get good at it anytime soon, and I need to get past that. I do know how to, well, I need a refresher on how to knit because I have attempted before way back in college, And I haven't been in college since 2016. God, it's been a decade! Let me quit yapping, get on moving over to Lowe's so I can pick up some sturf and then take my sister-in-law to her appointment so I can crochet.
I'm gonna try to be really quick about this, but I got 30 of these little guys because I needed pots and I also needed peat moss. So this is peat moss and pot. And then I also got the E6000. So I gotta throw them in the back seat because my sister-in-law is coming. But I just realized I probably should have bought more soil. I have a little bit of soil. It's old soil. I don't know if it's gonna be enough for all the beans, but hopefully it's enough for most of the beans. I still need to stop by like Walmart, or not Walmart. I don't want to stop by Walmart. That's scary. Maybe Publix, somewhere that has pie tins, because pie tins are great for catching water. And I need quite a few of those because 2 of my big pots don't have a water catcher and I absolutely need that. I don't know. It's not been raining and it's just necessary for me. And then also because these have holes on the bottom and I don't have a pot to put them in yet. Because like I'm going to end up doing like an above ground, like a raised garden bed. So that's the plan. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. I gotta go.
Look how quickly my beans grew in. There's so many. 1, 2, 3. We got another one right there. And then we got some more down here. So that was a pepper, and I don't think it's gonna make it. But my beans, they're doing so well. Let me look at the other ones. These ones too. This one's growing. This one's growing. You can kind of see that one. And I did see it when I watered it, but this one's growing too. This is so exciting. And then we have our blackberries. I think something ate this one, maybe. I don't know, maybe I waited too long. Yeah, something ate this. Well, whatever, it's fine. I'll get them moved eventually. We'll take this one off. Maybe it was the dogs. Look how pretty. Oh, stain. Cute. I forgot to show y'all the garbanzo beans. They're doing pretty well. So I repotted everything. Well, I started potting everything. There's the lentils, more chickpeas. So I did them all in order of how they came out of the jar. And then like you can see where it stops, like right here. They stopped sprouting. These ones sprouted, but these ones over here did not sprout. So maybe I did something wrong. Maybe it's because they were at the bottom that they didn't sprout. But these ones all did well. So we'll see with these ones. Maybe putting them in the pot will help. Maybe they have a longer germination time. But we're going to water these and then put more soil on top and then we'll call it. Oh, by the way, I found this pie tin right here. I don't know if it's a pie tin. I don't remember what it is, but it was in my drawers, my junk drawer. And I currently don't have pie tins for those plants out here, but I still want to get pie tins, circular pie tins for those. These ones are going to go for these plants because I have them inside the little easy grow thing for now. I don't know. I just need something to help with the self-watering portion of it. Not going to lie, I have a feeling that most of those plants aren't going to make it, but I'm experimenting and that's okay. I didn't have like the right kind of soil. Also, I'm making compost, so it's fine. I have the plants that I really wanted. Those ones are sprouting. Every single one of them are. So that's wonderful news. While out with my sister-in-law, or at my sister-in-law's appointment thing, I was able to get some crochet done. I will show you guys that later. I'm just in plant mode right now. So I'm going to take this and then write down how long it takes for each of these to grow in, because I think I waited too long on that blackberry and either something got to it or I just waited way too long and it just started exploding. I hope my blackberry tree bush grows taller. That's what I want. He would like that too, I believe. Maybe he ate it. Did you eat my blackberries? Are you guilty? All right, I'm in plant mode, so I'm going to look up these plants. Good morning. Sorry. I'm probably not going to talk too much because I'm just still sleepy. And I just wanted to talk to you guys before I move on. But this is how much work I got done. We've got it connected down here.
So we've got a big old armhole now. And hopefully this is like not too big, not too small, just right. I don't know, man. I'm hoping this works. But we've got this all done, this done. We're now working on doing rounds until it hits 13 inches. I forgot my measuring tape yesterday, so I don't know if this is actually what I needed. I also forgot the book that I was writing everything down in here, so I'm gonna go pick that up right now before I move on and hope that this works out. Okay, perfect. The back of this measures to 11 inches from collar down to the bottom. Super perfect. What I had to do yesterday was take my crochet hook, if I can find it, and I had to like line it up on the back of it because I looked up how long a 5mm crochet hook from Susan Bates is. It's 5.5 inches long. So I had to take that and kind of like eyeball or like hold my finger and then do this kind of thing. You know, when you're measuring your feet, kind of. I had to do that in the waiting room, and I'm glad it worked because it's about where I wanted to stop crocheting anyways, and then do the little arm hook. So I did add down here a couple stitches, 9 plus 1 plus 3. 1 because I counted accidentally the corner as a stitch when I was counting around. So the way I counted this was like I took this, I counted in tens, and this equaled up to 40 with the extra corner I added on accident. And then on the back, it added to 72. And there was no like extra corner because I had been working it down. So 40 plus 72. And that equaled a number that didn't quite equal something that was divisible by 9. So what I did was I added 1 extra, like I said, because of the corners. And then I added 3 on each side. Maybe, I'm thinking about it now, maybe I should have added 4 on each side because one of these sides needs to be like an extra, like not touch side, if that makes sense. So the way that the diamond stitch works, it works to where you crochet 4 at the beginning. You crochet, or you double crochet 4, and then you front post double crochet, and then you double crochet 4, and it increases this way up until you get to that 4th one, and then you have to like double crochet into the last stitch. I need to go back. Yep, now that I'm thinking about it, I have to go back. I might not do that actually. I might just figure it out and like add an extra stitch on this side because it wasn't quite even. 9 is only divisible in like odd numbers basically. Well, I could have added, no, the way that this worked up, it would have only been divisible by odd numbers. I just couldn't do it because divisible by odd, if I would have added only 4 and 5 on each side. It's weird. Either way, it wasn't even. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to continue working on this. Like I said, I hope that this works out fine. I still don't have measurements from my commissioner, but I think this is good because if I keep like, I got to figure out where I want to keep it going to continue because like I have on this side from top to bottom, let me measure it real quick. So if you don't count the ribbing is here because I needed my commissioner to see the colorway, but if you don't count the ribbing, it's about 4 inches here. And I think that's a good base. But if you count the ribbing, it's supposed to be about 6 inches. I know that this measuring tape is a little bit older, so... and also, my yarn kind of moves about. Yeah, it's 6 inches here. Oh, it's about 5 inches if I do it like this. Okay, so yeah, like I can't get like a perfect measurement on it. Now, I'm going to say it's a good 5 inches. And then with that 5 inches, I think that's good for my commissioner. And if it's a smaller person or a bigger person, I'll adjust from here. And then, I don't know. I'm nervous. Not gonna lie, this project It was the pillowcase I was working on. It's taking up way too many things. I don't remember how you call them right now. It's taking too many, and I currently no longer want to make it because it's taking way too long. This is a single crochet project, and I hate it. I absolutely hate doing it. So I think what I'm going to end up doing, sorry y'all, we're not going to finish it. We're going to frog this project, and I'm going to take these back so I can make a beret, and I'll cross stitch on the beret instead because I think that would be much cuter. The pillow, I'll figure something else out with it. I think that's going to have to be a sewing project. Sewing doesn't take as long. I have things that I can do to make it cute, I guess. I don't have that much fabric. That's my issue currently. But I could also just donate it. I don't need it in my house. My husband got offered a kind of promotion at work. He and I are both very much like, we don't want more responsibility. We just want to get acknowledged for what we do what we do and be comfortable with what we do and being paid well. In this economy, it's hard to have a job that pays you well for anything, but we don't want to like move up. That's the thing. We don't want to move up in corporate. But he was offered maybe like a spotlight to perhaps move in that direction. And with that being said, he let his leadership know that we may or may not be here by the end of the year. And that's the thing. Like, okay, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it's going to take us much longer to get up there. All that's to be said, I do need to dwindle down my inventory of stuff in general because for the longest time I was a trinket collector, and I'm glad I've kind of stepped away from that. I just can't do it anymore. But also, like, if I don't need those pillows, I don't need those pillows. I can donate them. There's a large community out here, a large growing lower class community because the money's getting stuck up here and they're going to want something like that. And I don't know. It's kind of stinky. It's kind of ratty. If anything, I can find like cotton fabric and then just remake it in the future. I don't know, man. I don't want it in my life. So if you watched that video, great. If you didn't, I'm so sorry. I'm not getting up to go get it. I've been up and down all day because I've been kind of like trying to reorganize my life right now. So anyways, we're going to take all these off. And then I think because we're going out to dinner with one of my husband's friends, he's my friend too, but like he's closer friends with my husband. And I'll bring this along and then work on a beret. But before I start taking that apart, I started working on like a build book. So this is for the Melty Love cardigan, which is what I'm working on for my commissioner. Still waiting on measurements, but honestly, at this point, I'm just going to have her meet up with me and be like, hey, does this fit well? If not, whatever. If yes, then great. So I have pages. The front, obviously, the Melty Love cardigan. I do plan on getting a photo, Bogo's Binted, right here. And just so I can like visually see, because I really want to get into making zines, but like I always give up halfway because I'm like, well, what's the point of it, you know? So get that printed right here or get a photo of it right here. Then in here we have the neckline. With the neckline, I have written right here, nape to shoulder armhole depth. So those are the measurements I want to take and write them down. So the nape to shoulder is the most important part because I need to know how long I need to, or how much I need to, crochet so that the shoulder, it looks good. And then the armhole depth is kind of important, but not super important because if it's like the same and it can sit underneath right here, then perfect. I just kind of want to visualize it. On this left side, I'm probably going to put photos, and then I might underneath do like the crochet charts. We'll do measurements or like the charts, and then down here I'll put like how many foundation single crochet and how many rows. That's just kind of the thought process with this. And then the next page, we've got the back panel. So same process. The left side for the rest of these pages are going to be like the photo, the chart, and whatever. I have neck to center back, which is going to be in the back because this is the back panel, as I've been saying, the back yoke, perhaps. But neck to center back. And then we have armhole depth. those two together is what it's going to determine the next portion, which is the yolk. So I know I said back yolk, but the yolk is basically going to go down to here. Yolks normally stop up here. Well, yeah, yolks normally stop up here, but the way I'm kind of doing it is just, it's just a placeholder word because I don't know the actual word, but I know the word yolk. So the yolk is going to go all the way down to the waist because that's when I'm changing the fabric, because that's kind of how yolks work in sewing. Yolks are like, they're really popular in like cowboy outfits. If you've ever seen a Spirit jersey, that top portion is basically a yoke, but it's kind of just a cheap way to make clothes. I mean, it's not a cheap way to make clothes. It's circle down here, basically. Well, I think it's two fabric pieces. Circle down here, and then something up here. That's basically what the yoke is, and that's kind of how I'm thinking about this in the process. So the measurements are the bust, so all the way around, nape to waist, so here to here, and then neck to waist, so the back of the neck to about the same area in the back. That's how I'm going to determine how long to make the slime drip part. And then we've got the body, which is the waist to the lower hip. And that way, when it stretches out, it goes a little bit longer because I kind of want to make it down to like, I don't know, mid thigh level. But when I do the blocking, that kind of stretches out that far, which is super phenomenal. I know that when I block this out, it's probably going to be not as good, but whatever. This is all experiment. And my commissioner knows that they're paying a much cheaper price because they're the first person I'm ever doing this for. And then the sleeves, I had the armhole depth, which is all the way from the front because I need to know how wide this needs to be. I like mine fitting a little bit looser. Some people might not, but I kind of prefer all my clothes to fit a little bit looser here. So that's where I'm worried about it not fitting. So what I'm going to do with my commissioner's piece is I'm going to work all the way up until the waist part. And then I'm going to ask her to meet up with me and be like, hey, I really need that armhole depth just in case. I will frog this if I need to. If this is too big, then it's fine. I don't mind. This is just all a work in progress. But anyways, armhole depth to sleeve length, and sleeve is right here to here. Oh, I wrote that wrong. Sleeve length should be shoulder to wrist. So I need to rewrite that. But yeah, that's that. And then the next page, I have colorway. I should have put that in the front, which I might do in the future. And then in the back, I have notes. So this is going to be something I reference quite a bit if I do happen to take commissions. I do plan on making another zine type thing for the Defrosting Skelly Shrug because that's the one I actually want to take commissions on right now. This one, I'm still just working on it. So let me write this and then we'll get back to the project and I'll update you on that. I was watching a video from Averbs and Alters about online goth propaganda that they're not buying into. And that reminded me that I posted a video recently about fuck the system because that's something I'm very passionate about. It's something I firmly believe in. And the reason why I made that video recently was because I saw this clip of, I don't want to call them performative because I believe they do listen to the music, but also they're more like online TikTok goths. And here's the thing, there's a lot of discourse on political stuff in general because we live in such a shitty world right now. So like there's going to be lots of talk. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of tired of it. I hate that it's on the forefront of my mind every single day. And I know that's the point. That's the goal, is to make us tired of it and all that jazz. There's lots of talk about how if you're a goth, you have to be political and you have to be left leaning. And as somebody who's been in multiple scenes, who's been part of a lot of subcultures, that's just not the case when you get into the real life world. I will say that I think that my dad was, I wouldn't say he was goth, but he was definitely new wave. And I wouldn't, maybe not even definitely new wave, but he was definitely not normal. He's where I get my neurodiversity from. But I think that had he not met my mother or had kids when he was very young or went to the military, I think that he would have absolutely been this really cool alt father. Like, I think that he would have been a really cool figure to look up to. And like, I did look up to him quite a bit when I was younger. But he is very right leaning and he is very conservative. And although he listens to the music, he's still technically part of the scene. I mean, he used to go to shows when he was younger. He used to be part of bands when he was younger, apparently. I don't know if that's true. Like, my dad lied a lot, so that may be false. He said he used to play bass, which honestly, that kind of makes sense because he can't sing. The video clip was, like I was saying, these performative kids who or like on this talk show saying, fuck the system. And it's like, what are you saying that about? What do you believe fucking the system is about? Because right now, all it sounds like to me is that you're saying that to please the TikTok goths and the TikTok alternative world, where a lot of us do hold very similar belief systems. And of Herbs and Altars mentioned this, but like when you make posts like that to call out the people who are very conservative, you're bringing a community into your comment section to meet and become friends. And if you don't want that, stop talking about it. Like, that's the thing. Like, the whole Jake Monroe guy, he only does that because he's getting attention on it. He's making money off of it. Like, that's all, like, the big reason why it's happening and why he'll continue to do it, because he's going to continue making money off of it. He's a grifter. He makes money. That's how that works. That's what's going on. Rodney Radke, I wouldn't say he's goth, but he's doing it because he's making money. He's getting attention. He's not going to stop doing what he's doing. I think people need to get off the internet. And I'm one to talk. I'm online all the stinking time. I'm trying really hard to get off the internet. I'm going to be so honest with you guys. I'm trying so freaking hard, but it's really tough when like my hands don't want to move, or like, this is one of the reasons why I crochet, so that I can stop being online so chronically online. It's why I'm so crafty, is because I just don't want to be scrolling all the time. I'm so sick of being like stuck into like this box of being online all the time. It used to be really fun when we were kids, but now everything is just like, it's so negative. It's so depressing. Yeah, going back to what of Herbs and Altars said, they mentioned that like the online goth scene is just sticking us into a box, and we're not. Like, I obviously don't dress like a goth because I don't dress in all black all the time, but I'm still goth, and that's the thing. Like, if you're online all the time and that's the only place that you get your information about the subculture, that's all you're going to know. Like, you're just going to know the popular posts. I don't have a problem with trad goths. I just think that that's the corporatized version of goth currently, because everybody that thinks that you're goth thinks that you have to be looking like that, or you're emo, because that's another throwaway thing, you know? And like, this is a big subject to talk about, to be honest. And maybe if I ever have like notes or something, I could do it. But we've got to stop like boxing ourselves in and realizing, like, I know I'm probably preaching to a choir here, but we're not all the same people, and we're never all going to be the same people. That's what happens when you let big corporate take over. It's just really disappointing when we start putting ourselves in a box, when all we do is ostracize people and then like force them into their own community where they can talk more. Like, being elder, I guess, I'm always open to welcoming people. Because, okay, here's another thing. I've always lived in a red state, so I've always been a blue dot, whatever that means to you. But I've always been an outlier no matter where I go, not only because my neurodiversity, but because I am not voting the same way as many people around us. I will say we're gerrymandered to hell and back right now, and they're proposing another gerrymander here, another whatever. I think that's something that a lot of people don't get when they're in their little like petri dish, basically, of the same thoughts. They hear the same things over and over again. A good example of that is when how many people were hopeful for this recent election, thinking that this election wasn't going to have the outcome it did because they were stuck in that same loop of, oh, this is going well, this is going great, everybody loves this person, just for her to lose, you know? We've got to start like reaching across the counter and being like, hey, I see you for who you are. I'm not going to turn you away for not being on the same length brainwave as me. There's some things that you can excommunicate people for, like if they're blatantly racist or misogynist or even misandrist, like there's some things you should excommunicate people for, but there's some things where you can just be like, hey, I see you. Let's talk. Let's be friends. Let's understand we have differences. That's something that's missing. I'm not well equipped to have these kinds of conversations and like talk my brain out about this because it's just word puddle. And God, I wish I was better at vocalizing and communicating and all that. And this is what really sucks because I'm so passionate about people and like community and all this, but I can't talk about it because I'll just cry because people will like challenge me and I can't do anything about it. I just sit there and I smile and I laugh because just in general, I struggle with communication. So anyways, I just wanted to like talk about why I made that post. It's been super shadow banned, so you probably didn't see that post, but I just wanted to let y'all know that we should stop putting ourselves in boxes. I'm looking at this. This is a really deep, there's no way, like no way that this fits her. This is just too deep, I think. Yeah. I don't think that her arm depth is that long at all. So I'm going to frog this. I think I did too long on the neck to waist, or yeah, neck to waist area. I just messaged her to see if I can get a checkup because like I don't want to keep on working on this if I'm just not going to have the right measurements. And like she deserves better. She deserves a good piece. I don't want her to drive all the way out just to say, oh, this is way too big. I just don't think that this is her. Waist to like shoulder depth or armhole depth is one thing, but like her arm also, I think, is another thing. So I'll ask her to measure that as well if she does get back to me. At this point, I think it's a little bit too warm and she might not be thinking about it anymore. But I still want to make it, like, just to say that I made it. I don't know, man. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to put this to the side again. I'll frog it later. We'll keep this on the desk so that I know to continue to work on it because I think one of the reasons why I didn't work on it was because it was in the other room with my pillow project. I'm going to take that project apart right now so I can start working on a new beret because I really want the beret right now. That's what I want. Hey, good afternoon, almost evening. This is my outfit for today. We're going out to a restaurant called Isansop, and it's a Thai restaurant, and I think it's Michelin recommended, and it has really good fried rice, blue crab fried rice, and that's super exciting. But before I started getting ready, I was working on this start. Okay, so first of all, I have this super glow yarn, and I haven't used it because it's such a small skein. It's only 50 yards. Let's see. 1.8 ounces, 50 grams. Yeah, it's 50 yards. But it's wound very, very tightly. There's at least 12 strands in there. There's definitely more than 12 strands. So what I've been working on is taking it apart and splitting the yarns. So let me see. This is an example of the yarn split right here. This is the size of the yarn, right? This is the size of the split yarn. You can see the difference. So that's what I've been working on for a while so that I can get so much more use out of this. When I made the star originally, it was like this big and I'd only get like 2 out of this. So because I really want to use glow in the dark yarn, that's essentially, yeah, you guys know. I've been saying this for a while. Anyways, almost done with the first one. We've got quite a bit of yarn to work with, but I have a feeling I'm going to bring this with me and just continue splitting it. If not, I'm going to bring the beret with me. I did work on that a little bit. I got up to like row maybe 15 max. But I think I'm going to end up ordering more of this. This is Red Heart Saver Super Glow, or no, Red Heart Super Glow. Because I don't know, I like it. And I want to make it into like little dangles. This is a big enough dangle, right? Okay. On to East and Sup soon, in like 4 minutes. I forgot to mention, we're also going to the Mall of Millennia, because it's right there. So I grabbed my backpack, my new Celestial Park backpack, and my yarn's in here. And yeah, that's really all that I need to tell you. I'm excited for Thai food. I don't know how to explain this, but whenever I split the yarn, sometimes it'll get stuck on itself and tangle. So I do have to cut very often, which I don't mind too much. It kind of like ruins the continuity of it, but these are just going to be stars anyway, so it's fine. It's not like it's going to be lace weight, so it's not as important. But yeah, this is what's going on right now. So I have to cut it right here because these two strands, the top strands right here, I have them pulled for this side, but now it's intertwined with this one. So yeah, we're going to cut it and then we're going to keep on going. Keep on trucking. Rise plushie just dropped on the NASA site. I know it's a no spin month, but I've been wanting it. I don't know if I want the plushie because there's also a keychain and there's also a shirt with Rise on there and it says copy Moonjoy. And I kind of want it. And it's only like, it's kind of cheap. And all proceeds go to the program. So should I do it? There's no should I. I'm going to do it. Y'all probably don't remember, but last week, I think, I was having trouble sending an email to the person who runs the Art and Oddities event, or Oddities and Art event by Access Art Florida. And it turns out it wasn't just me. So she apparently had a vendor send her an email. I just assumed it was my fault. So I was just like, whatever, I'll take a loss. I'll just show up. And if people see me and they're like, oh, that's interesting, they get it. Like it's kind of like underground more that way. Not that I'm still trying to make money, but like just to at least make booth fee and gas fees. I would love to make more than that, but I can't ask for too much. I can't beg, you know? Another vendor sent her an email saying, hey, I sent you my thing, something happened, blah, blah, blah. And she looked through her emails and she received at least 40 vendors worth of emails, but none of them were like attached or something. Like something happened in her email box. She doesn't use a typical email like Gmail or anything, so it might have been her server or whatever. But she sent out an email last night saying, hey, please resubmit your photos because blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I resubmitted my photos and it went fine. It perfectly went well. So I'm I had never posted it while I was getting ready this morning. Well, getting ready, I say, just washing my face because I still had yesterday's. I gotta go back. Hold on. Let me do my eye makeup, eye stuff real quick. I'll forget. Okay, I'm back. Anyways, I sent my photos. What else? I don't remember. Oh, I was in the middle of making a post. I was making a post just saying that I'm going to be there. It's a little bit different photos than what I sent to the event manager. So it's going to, I guess people can look at my page. And then I don't really have much else after that. I am trying to slowly break away from TikTok. I don't think I'm going to post it on TikTok. So the last post I made on TikTok for my business account was a pattern. And I don't know if I told y'all, but it was the Halcyon bow, the bow that I have made last week that had the bats all over it. Did I make it last week or did I finish it up this week? I don't remember. But anyways, oh, speaking of that bow, one of my coworkers said that she wants one. So because she said that, I'm going to get it to her. Sorry, I'm watching the One Piece stage show from Universal. Interesting. God, I wish when we move to the West Coast, we can go down there for FanFest, maybe. I don't know. God, this is what sucks about having ADHD. I get distracted and I forget what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I posted on TikTok and Instagram the pattern for the Halcyon bow. It did okay on Instagram. It pretty average, honestly. And then on TikTok, it only has 40 views.
And I just don't know. I'm so sick of TikTok, and it's not just because of my view rates going down. It's I'm so tired of seeing all the ads every single day. It's one interesting video, ad, one interesting video, 10 ads. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of just in general everything that's going on in the world. I'm sick of like having brain rot days and then having heavy political days. And I know I talked a little bit about it earlier, but like I'm not an inherently political person. I just happen to fall under it because lately that's all I can think about because I'm inundated into it. And like, I don't want my brain to only think about that. I am a creative person. I want to be able to make art. I want to be able to live. I want to be able to do things without thinking about how much our government isn't fucking us over. But I can't because I'm stuck scrolling on TikTok. And like, the worst part is too, because my crafts are so hand heavy, I struggle like not being on my phone whenever I'm tired of moving my hands, you know? Anyways, going back to actual crochet stuff, this is how far I've gotten with splitting this yarn. So what I've been doing is like splitting them into threes. It's been difficult for sure, but I think I've kind of got a groove with it. As I've stated before, I don't mind that it's a little bit scrappy because the scraps are going to be on the inside anyways. And like at the end of the day, I'm getting like 3 times the amount of yarn in a way by splitting it in three. This is about the average size that I would have for my stars in general if I was using bamboo yarn, which I do need to stock back up on bamboo yarn because that's how I normally make my hair dangles. I just wanted to try this out. I think I will be purchasing this again, but in this colorway, but more like most likely in this one. I have them in my cart right now. As much as I don't like Amazon, it's cheapest on Amazon. If you do a 3-pack, it's $16.47. But like if you do just a 1-pack from other locations, it's $8.99. That is so expensive for 50 yards of yarn. Like 50 grams, 50 yards. It's just way too expensive. It's way out of my price range. Like, are you kidding me? So it's basically buy 2 get 1 free, and it's even less than that actually. I'm going to make quite a few of these, and then once this starts running low, then I'll think about purchasing more. I don't know if I'm going to like this one. So it only comes in 4 colorways. It comes in white, that seafoam blue, and this, and there's one other color. Let me look it up real quick. Oh, like a aurora yellow is what they call it. I don't know if I like that color. I might get it. For now, I'm just going to stick with what I have. I'll just add them to my cart for now. But anyways, I need to finish making that post and then letting people know that I'm going to be at Fort Myers Market because I think it's kind of important, right? I feel like that's important. Alrighty, let me get everything settled. Update on the yarn. We've got it all done. My fingers don't hurt, but my brain kind of hurts. I need to find an easier way to de-thread this or whatever to detach the strains. Started working on another star because I was so excited to stop doing that I accidentally started on the new thing. So now we have 2, and they're the perfect size. I'll show you guys when I'm done with a few of them so I can do glow in the dark. This is pretty scrappy, but honestly, I think it's still pretty unique in the fact that it's so small. And then on top of that, it's like I don't think many people will take the time to thread this. This is a very roving yarn like right now, and I kind of wish I had the patience to do it for a lot because it'd be really cute as like a accent on a skirt or something. I do like roving yarns, not gonna lie. I know it's like a lot of people don't like it because it doesn't feel very secure, but to me it feels softer. Weird, I know, but yeah, we got 2. We're gonna see how much we can make out of this, and then or before I get tired of making them. And then I'll show you guys the results. Good morning. Welcome to the end of the vlog where I talk about everything that we worked on. And I'm going to be so honest with y'all. To me, my brain doesn't feel like it's a lot, but it really is a lot. I'm scrappy. My yarn's scrappy. Everything is scraps right now, but we got quite a bit done. So I'm going to start off with telling you guys, well, updating you guys on the cardigan.
So we got this far, and I think I talked about it. I don't remember. I kind of blacked out while listening to that portion. So if the editing is really terrible there, that's why I was focused on another crochet project. I crochet while I edit, by the way. This cardigan for my commissioner, it's kind of all tangled up right now, and I don't feel like straightening it. I'm trying. Okay, anyways, I believe the sleeves are way too big, and I'm going to pause on it. I'm still waiting on an answer from my commissioner. I think that it's too hot, and she doesn't necessarily want it right now, but we'll probably get back in touch with each other once it starts cooling down again. And that's completely fine. It gives me a big chance to really work on other things, because right now I'm really focusing on my market and I want to get the ball rolling on that. But that being said, I have this zine that I started working on. I did work on a zine for my plants, but this is a crochet vlog and I just happen to really like talking about my plants. I'm working on this zine, and for me, the point of the zine, I'm going to bring it with me to my market, and I'm going to sell, or not sell, I am going to trade people their measurements for a free crochet bandana. I will go pick one up so I can show you what bandana I'm talking about, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do that. This is the Daisy Dagger Co. crochet bandana, and one of the biggest reasons why I want to just do a trade for measurements for this is because I never ever want to make this again. I hate surface crochet. It's not for me. It's pretty small. It didn't turn out the way that her picture did, and I know it's because this is a new technique for me. And on top of that, there's Temu versions of this for $5. Nobody wants to pay the amount that this is worth. So if I can take somebody's measurement, I'm sure I'm more likely to get a positive response for it. I have like 6 or 9 of these, and then I have 3 and 3 in different colorways. One is in the purple colorway and the other is in like a lime greenish colorway. I don't plan on doing that many measurements, but if I can, that's great. I want to grab measurements from quite a few people so I can like get a pool of where I can do like the cardigan stuff. I do need to add another measurement in here while I'm here. I need to add arm, cuff, whatever, around. I need to add that. And I'm going to take an average, ask them what their normal t-shirt size is, because I feel like almost everybody in the world wears a t-shirt. It's just a common denominator with all of us. If they don't know that measurement, then that's also fine. I'm going to have a inch-wise measurement. But bringing this along so I can write it down. I am also going to be wearing my cardigan there because I really do want to make this into a pattern. I really feel that I have what it takes to do it. One pattern a year I think is fine. I know a lot of people out there are really into it. I think I saw this on Instagram. There's a pattern creator out there who is taking a break, stepping away from social media, because she said that her quality in work has downgraded because she felt like she needed to write a new pattern like every week or something. And that's definitely not realistic for me. I struggle with communicating. I tried to do 2 patterns last year, maybe even a 3rd pattern with my berets. I mean, I put out quite a few free patterns, and one of them got taken from me. I'm pretty sure they were inspired by my pattern. I can't say for sure because I didn't watch their video. I didn't buy their pattern. But it's a weird coincidence that this pattern was also called the pleated skirt with the same technique, because I can visually see it. There's only a few differences in it. And that like pleated skirt pattern is very popular on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube compared to like pretty much anything else I've posted. That one got a lot of attention. Pretty weird that that happened within the month of me posting my pleated skirt pattern. That's not the point. The point is I want to make this Melty Love cardigan into a pattern eventually, and to entice people to come over and be like, hey, I have something free for you. It will also give my second table a reason to be there. I don't think that I really want to sell off of the second table, but also I have so much space that I feel that I'm not taking advantage of the space. So that second table will be more of like a display thing. I think I'll put my bandanas there, honestly. I think it would be kind of worth it doing it there. All besides the point. That's one thing that I worked on this week. Another thing, I don't feel like going into the other room, but throughout the week, I will continue, or throughout the months, I guess, the weeks before I go to work, I will continue working on pattern drafting. It's not really drafting, it's just cutting out the pattern and pattern tracing of certain clothing items that I think that I can keep up with. I do need to get some interfacing. That's coming up. But I think in the future, I'm going to do pattern draft, or like a rough draft rather, a mock-up for my clothing. The idea I had a drawing of it and I don't remember. I probably already threw it away. But basically, we're going to do a bandeau style, and we're going to have crochet stars and like that one weird vintage pattern lace. We're going to have it hanging here, and then we're going to have shorts, and underneath the belt loop, we're going to have the stars hanging there with that vintage lace pattern. That is the idea right now. That is the thought process. I do need to do a mock-up before I make it into my shop. So it's not going to make it into my market, but it is something that I am looking forward to bringing to my shop eventually. And everything is going to be measured in inches. We're not doing silly little, this is small, medium, large thing, because small, medium, and large is very different across the board everywhere else. I can say it's a standard this size, but I definitely want to say this is the inches that you need for it. And then eventually I'll start taking classes so I can learn how to size up or down my patterns that I have, because I think that would be extremely beneficial to me. Right now I don't have the money to do it, but now I have the free time to do it. If there's like free community things to do it, maybe even get a library card. And I know they have sewing machines for rent out there. I know that's a thing. So I have my own sewing machine, not that I need to borrow one, but there are people that go to the library for sewing classes. We also, did I work on another crochet thing? I know I worked on some table things. I don't feel like showing it to y'all this week. I'll show it to you guys next week. This video is already long. My videos keep on getting longer and longer, and I do apologize. Thank you anybody who stays this long to watch these videos. I'm not trying to take this long. I just have a lot on my mind sometimes, and the majority of the time it's because I can't stick to one project, and that's why I will never put out a video saying, I worked on this. I did before, and people disliked it. Way back when I first started doing vlogs, I said I was making a beret, and that's another video. Thank you for the reminder, y'all. I said I was making a beret, and I didn't finish the beret, and everybody was upset. And not everybody, but people were upset and disliked the video. So I started on this beret. Oh, that's not the beret. Hello. We started on this beret, and I'm going to continue working on it throughout whenever I have free time. The goal with that beret is to do some cross stitch and do some like embroidery. I do have quite a bit of this yarn left, but not enough, I think, to do a whole run. I've been working on splitting yarns as well. We still have this whole one, and I don't think I want to work on this quite yet. I'm kind of tired of working this yarn. We have this much left, kind of. There's a pile here because I had to frog something. This much left of the original pile of the yarn that I split. We have so many of these, 4, 8, 12, 16, 17. I'm working on the, is that 4 there? Yeah, 4, 8, 12, 16, 17. I'm working on the 18th one, and I think I can pull out a 19th one, perhaps. I think I have enough yarn for that. But I have enough yarn to do my own hair dangles, because I do really like this colorway as opposed to this colorway. This one, and once I split it, it's all going to go to the shop. We'll keep 2 sets of these, so 2 sets equals 8, which is a lot. But we'll have 1 set, right? No, yeah. 1 set is 4. So you had 2 stars, 2 stars, dangle. I like to wear mine like this in piggies. So that's why I'm keeping that. Like I said, don't think I have enough for another whole set. Maybe for a pin. If I have enough for a pin, then I'll just do like, if I have one left over, then I might attach it to that beret. We'll see. It's kind of not really what I'm looking for. I am going to end up buying more. It's just very tedious to split all this yarn. And because I have to cut it to split it properly,
I need to figure out a good length to cut the yarn at. It's tough. It's a lot of work. I do have one more project that I should show you guys, and I feel bad that I didn't talk about this at all, but yesterday was just like a non-verbal day for me. I wouldn't say non-verbal. It was just like, I don't know how to explain it. I just didn't feel like talking. It was selective mutism, I guess. I don't know. My brain just didn't want to do all that, right? We started working on a phone case or phone holder sling thing because I saw somebody make one. I think it was on TikTok. Somebody had crochet ideas, and what they did was make a phone holder using granny squares. Now, I'm not somebody who really likes granny squares, but I'm starting to kind of like them because I know there's a lot of people out there. My sister-in-law really likes them. Oh, speaking of her, we were talking about, because she's planning on moving out of the state as well. We'll be on opposite coasts, and I was like, hey, you do a lot of kinds of arts. I only do crochet and hopefully sewing. So if we combine our powers, it would be a super mutant. I was telling her how, like, if I get accepted to longer markets, I know that I physically cannot keep up with 3-day markets, but it'd be an excuse for her to fly out to me and we'd hang out as a family unit. She'd get paid for being there because she'd be bringing her own art. She could send her art to our house, so it'd be way cheaper because some of the things that she does is painting like flower pots and rocks, and that gets really stinking heavy. So she can send it our way. That way she doesn't have to pay the price for the flight, and she has a free place to stay. And it's the same way opposite because she'll be over on this coast. She's thinking North Carolina, we're thinking Oregon. Okay. So North Carolina is kind of halfway between here and Salem, Massachusetts, and there's a fiber festival up there. And I told her, hey, if I can come out there and just leg it up there with you, I think that'd be really great. That's all different story. That doesn't really matter. But did I show you guys? Oh, I didn't get around to this. But yeah, a lot of people were making them out of granny squares. And this is what I came up with. So this is actually a granny square from, let me pull her up, the Caffeinated Snail. And I think I want to do a little bit different with the bat. The bat doesn't really look like a bat. My husband was like, is that supposed to be a bat? And I'm like, he doesn't think it's a bat, but he knows it's a bat because I like to make bats. And this is supposed to be a cloud. I don't know if I have enough yarn to make another bag in this colorway, but I do have yarn in a different one, and it's not going to be the pastel color, but I think charging $25 for this. I still need to make the sling, and I don't know if I want to do like clips, because like if I do clips, then we can just put it over. But also I kind of want to make it into like a belt loop thing where you could just stick it on your side like this. But also I don't know how dedicated to that I am, because I personally don't wear belts because I don't like making belt loops in my clothes. And I don't know how many other people have belt loops in their clothes. So that being said, this is something new that's coming to the shop. I think I might change out the bat for a different bat pattern, but this is just the prototype. This one's going to be for me. And then if I like it enough out of the other yarn I have, which I'll show you guys next week, then I will continue purchasing this yarn and make more of these, because I think this would be really cute to set up in the shop. All right, I think that's all I have to talk about this week. Yeah, nothing else. Nothing on the brain. I hope I won't be doing over an hour plus of vlogging this week, because my husband has 4 days off this week, and we decided to make today and maybe tomorrow a Dragon Wilds day. He took a couple of days off because Leagues is going on in RuneScape, and he's kind of super obsessed with RuneScape. He's been on RuneScape since like day one, basically. Yeah, hopefully I won't be as yappy as I have been. And if you guys enjoy that, thank you. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.